بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء، واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم، ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله، وأحسن الهدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، وشر الأمور محدثاتها، وكل محدثة بدعة، وكل بدعة ضلالة، وكل ضلالة في النار. Alhamdulillah, we dealt with the hadith of Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu. And also the hadith of Abu Abbas Sahl bin Sa'ad al-Sa'id, أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال يوم خيبر: لأعطين الراية غدا رجلا يفتح الله على يديه، رجلا يفتح الله على يديه يحب الله ورسوله ويحبه الله ورسوله. فبات الناس يدركون ليلتهم أيهم يعطاها، فلما أصبح الناس غدوا على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم كلهم يرجو أن يعطاها. قال: أين علي بن أبي طالب؟ فقيل: يا رسول الله هو يشتكي عينيه. قال: فأرسلوا إليه فأتي به، فبصق رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم في عينيه ودعا له فبرأ حتى كأن لم يكن به وجع. فأعطاه الراية فقال علي: يا رسول الله أقاتلهم حتى يكونوا مثلنا؟ قال: انفض على رسلك حتى تنزل بساحتهم، ثم ادعهم إلى الإسلام وأخبرهم بما يجب عليهم من حق الله تعالى فيه. والله أن يهدي الله بك رجلا واحدا خير لك من حمر النعم. So we talk about the first part of the hadith, alhamdulillah, and a bit about the battle of Tabuk. Why did the Prophet ﷺ go to them, and what really happened? In one of those husuns of the Khaybar, the Prophet ﷺ, after a very strong battle and resistance that he faced from those people of Khaybar, because they really built the place in terms of defense, لن تنفع. All of those fortresses will never benefit them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if he's looking for somebody, nobody can stop him from reaching. قال وهو يجير ولا يجار عليه. So whatever they have, it will never benefit them. And this is exactly what happened. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned that in Surah Al-Ahzab. So Allah, the Prophet told the believers, I'm going to give the flag to somebody whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will grant the victory to. I mean, ala yadayhi yakun al-nasr. So the Prophet said, I will be giving the flag to somebody who loves Allah and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves him. And we learned that Ali bin Abi Talib was the person that the Prophet has chosen. So that's a summary of what we did last week. So let's move to the rest of the hadith. Then Ali bin Abi Talib, he said, Ya Rasulullah, uqatilhum hatta yakunu mithlana. He said, Ya Rasulullah, if you remember yesterday I told you last week I told you that Ali bin Abi Talib was told by the Prophet ﷺ to move and fight without looking behind, turning behind. He said, "Well, I taltafit." In some narration, Ali bin Abi Talib moved, and then he perceived that he need to ask certain questions. But he remembered the statement of the Prophet ﷺ, "Don't look behind." So he remained standing, face in front of him, and then he asked the Prophet ﷺ, saying, "Ya Rasulullah, alama uqatil." According to this narration, he told the Prophet ﷺ, "Ya Rasulullah, uqatiluhum hatta yakunu mithlana." Am I going to fight them until they have to become like us? So the idea here is to force them until they accept that which the Prophet ﷺ is calling them to. That was his question. Am I going to fight them until they accept Islam? It means when they become like us, that's when they become fully Muslims. So Ali ibn Abi Talib asked the Prophet ﷺ that question. The Prophet ﷺ said, "No, relax and move slowly and calmly. Go straight forward until you land at their basement, and then call them upon Shahadatu la ilaha illallah." You can't fight the people without informing them about that which they want to do. Even if they know, because the Jew, they know about the Prophet ﷺ and they know who he was. The only matter with the Prophet ﷺ, according to them, is he wasn't a Jew. And this is also hypocrisy, because even their prophets also were rejected by them. You get it? You don't accept those prophets of theirs for them to accept Muhammad ﷺ. But Islam has its own principles. You can't punish a person without sending a messenger. And you cannot just fight them just like that. The Prophet ﷺ said to one of his companions, he says, إِذَا لَقِيتَ عَدُوَّكَ مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ فَادْعُوهُمْ إِلَى ثَلَاثِ خِصَالٍ. He said, when you meet your enemy from amongst the mushrikeen, he said, call them upon three attitudes. You have to give them three options. He says, if they accept each and every one of them, they accept either one amongst them, the Prophet ﷺ said, فَاقْبَلْ مِنْهُمْ وَكُفْ. Accept from them that, and hold upon your hand from fighting them. Don't fight them at all. The first khisla is to invite them to say La ilaha illallah. If they accept that, the case is closed. Whether they are sincere or they are not sincere, this is not my job, this is not your job. The point is to have them say La ilaha illallah. You get it? Because according to the Aqidah of Al-Sunnah wal Jama'ah, we judge people based on what appears. وَنَكِلُ سَرَائِرَهُمْ إِلَى الْخَيْرِ. Get it? When a person says La ilaha illallah, that will be enough. I don't judge what is in it. You get it? When something appears to me, then I judge that. But I cannot translate that which is in the heart of that person. Look at the case of Usama ibn Zayd. When he killed that man, the Prophet ﷺ said to him, أَقَتَلْتَهُ بَعْدَ أَنْ قَالَ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. Did you kill him after he said La ilaha illallah? Usama was trying to explain to the Prophet ﷺ what exactly happened, but the Prophet ﷺ was not even paying attention to him. You get it? After he finished his explanation, the Prophet ﷺ looked at him again and said, أَقَتَلْتَهُ بَعْدَ أَنْ قَالَ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. He said, Usama, did you kill him after he said La ilaha illallah? Usama explained to the Prophet ﷺ an explanation in which, if you are to listen to Usama ibn Zayd, you might believe in that which he says. Because the man was with them, saying whatever he wants to say about Islam, and then when they put him in a corner, he realized that he can't escape from them. Then he said, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. If you were to observe the scenario, you will make the same conclusion as Usama. But Islam is not about that. We can't talk about that which is in the heart because we don't know it. That's why the Prophet ﷺ told him, Ya Usama, why didn't you take his heart and bring it out and check and see whether he was sincere or not? Do you get the idea? It's a very our predecessors. We don't talk about that which is in the heart. We judge that which appears to us. Get the idea? So you're not the one that Allah SWT sent to judge the Islam of others. This one is this one is that. No. So the Prophet ﷺ told him, you have to invite them to Islam first. If they accept Islam, khalas, it finished. You can't fight them after that. If they don't accept Islam, then you invite them to pay the jizya. Jizya is a kind of a tax that is paid by a non-Muslim who agrees to live in the territory which belongs to the Muslims. Call it jizya. Because they are supposed to be protected in our territory. They are not supposed to be harmed. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Man qatala mu'ahadan min ghayri jurmin lam yarah raihat al-jannah." If you are to kill a mu'ahad or mu'ahid, somebody who signed an agreement of peace with the believers. Get it? He wasn't a Muslim, but he is living with the believers in peace. He doesn't fight, he don't fight. If somebody killed that person, the Prophet ﷺ said, he will not smell the fragrance of Jannah. Get it? We Muslims, we are the people of Aman. We grant them the Amana and they grant us the trust. We should keep our words. That Muslim doesn't break Amana, doesn't betray and deceives. Allah SWT guide us to the truth. So jizya, they pay the jizya. Some scholars said this is for the sake of the protection they get from the Muslim community, right? Because they have a lot of privileges and also the security is so high, nobody is allowed to harm them. You get the idea? We don't disrespect them, we don't harm them, we don't do this and that. But they're going to pay the jizya. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "Hatta yu'd al-jizyata an yadin wa hum saghirun." But those whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala intended in this ayah, they were the Jews and the Christians. And these are the people that we're talking about. How about the other mushrikeen from the Arabs who are not Jew and not Christian? Are they included or not? The Arabs and the non-Arabs who are mushrikeen nowadays, are they included in the jizya issue or they are not? Many scholars said they are not. Especially with the Arabs, some of the scholars said they are not supposed to be involved because Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam is one of them. They are supposed to be the first people to accept him. If they reject him, then there will be no jizya, either to accept him or to be executed. That's according to some scholars, but the vast majority of the scholars said no. The hukum is general, which includes everyone. Because the Prophet ﷺ in the hadith of this companion, he said, إِذَا لَقِيتَ عَدُوَّكَ مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. When you meet your enemy at the battlefield from among the mushrikeen, call them upon these three options and let's see which one would they choose. Either one is taken by them, give them that and move forward. So they have to pay the jizya. If not, then the Prophet ﷺ said, you should fight them. This place also the Prophet ﷺ told them the same thing. He said, "Unfud ala rislika hatta tanzila bi sahatihim, thumma ad'uhum ila al-Islam." And then you call them upon the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wa akhbirhum bima yajib alayhim fi. And also inform them after they accept Islam, let them know about that which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants them to do in the religion if they accept it. First, invite them to Islam. Let them recognize it and then teach them how to put the religion into practice and action. قال فوعد الله بك رجلا واحدا خير لك من حمر النعم. The Prophet ﷺ said by Allah, the Prophet is swearing by Allah, to tell you the importance of, to emphasize on the importance of the issue, right? He says, Wallahi, لأن يهدي الله بك رجلا واحدا, to have Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guiding one person through you is far greater than the Humur al-Ni'am. Humur al-Ni'am, these are the camels, the red camels. These are the best type of camels to the Arabs in those days. It's like to tell a person is better than the dunya and whatsoever is in it. And that's true. To have one person be guided by you is far greater than having the dunya and whatsoever in it. That's why, my brothers and sisters, it's a kind of loss, a person not to be engaged in the da'wah movement. When I say movement, I don't mean an organization that you join. No. Just to feel that you're part of the family is enough. Even if you don't affiliate yourself to any group, any organization, any foundation, but you feel that it is your responsibility to convey the message and you do it. That's greater. And also I really advise you also to have this meaning in your mind, because it will help you to be lenient. It will help you to be soft. It will help you to be gentle. It will help you to be patient, because you are what? You are a trader. You are a trader. And When I say trader here, means you have a bid'ah, you have goods, and you want to sell them. What is this good? There's the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You want to sell them. What is the price, the reward that will be given to you by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? You're not looking for dunya. And a trader, based on the concept of business, they said what? The customer is always the king. Wallahi, I wish our du'at understand this concept. Because sometimes when you give da'wah, we become so arrogant. You think you want everything. And these guys are useless. You get it, trash. They don't know, ignorant, juhala. You get it? Guided if this is our own attitudes. No. You have to cool down. You have to be humble. Look at the way the Prophet ﷺ was giving it out. Mus'ab ibn Umayr in Medina, he was the most knowledgeable person, believe it or not. He was the most knowledgeable person in Medina in those days when it comes to the teachings of Muhammad ﷺ. But because he was somehow the first person to be sent by the Prophet ﷺ to teach them the religion. But look at the way he was dealing with those people. He did not forget who he was, but da'wah necessitated what? Humbleness and wisdom, and softness and leniency. Right? The common hadith that everyone knows, when the Jew went to the Prophet ﷺ and said what? And if you understand who is a Jew, and you hear what Aisha is saying to them, you will say, yes, they deserve. Prophet never disrespected. He lifted them up, but they don't want that. Get it? He put them at the same line. Come, let's sit all together. Although we are the authority, we have the state, we have the power, we have everything. You know that because he's from the Arabs and he's the messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and he's everything. And the leaders of the Ansar also, they granted him the power to lead them. The Jew in Medina, they were nothing. But still the Prophet ﷺ called them, he said, let's sit down and decide our case. We happen to live with you and we cannot live just like that. We have to make an agreement. Let's live in the state of peace. We don't fight you, you don't fight us. We protect you, protect you. What a nice agreement is that. But they don't want this. They go against it. And they kept plotting against the Prophet ﷺ until the time they left Medina completely. They came to the Prophet ﷺ and they said, Assalamu alaikum ya Rasulullah. Waliyadu billah. Assalamu alaikum ya Muhammad. Sam means death, ruin, evil, bad. Something bad should happen to you. Like the way you say Assalamu alaikum, they don't say Assalam. They say Assalamu alaikum. They're saying to who? To Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You say this to any common Muslim, this is too bad. But this is said to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. One day, it happens that they were next to Aisha radiallahu anha. They said that when she was there. She said, what? Wa alaykum as-salam. Because she knows the language. Wa la'anatullahi wa ghadabuh. Each and everything she asked for them, Allah already says. لُعِنَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا مِن بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. She said, the psalm that you are asking for the Prophet, may he be upon you. And may Allah curse you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala get angry with you. Look at Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. ذلك الداعي. Get it? The best da'i you can ever see in your life. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam knows the language much greater than Aisha. Get it? He's an expert in the language. They even mentioned that companions sometimes they were surprised, they were amazed with the way the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam speaks. Why? Because he was trained in the village, right? So he knows what they say. And he knows exactly what it means. And he knows their intention. But when he heard that, he said, what's wrong with you, Aisha? She said, Ya Rasulullah, did you hear what he said? Didn't you hear what they're saying? The Prophet ﷺ said, Ya Aisha, didn't you hear what I said? Very good answer, right? They said, Assalamu alayka. The Prophet ﷺ said, I told them, Wa alaykum. And you too. Very short and concise. But it served the purpose. You get it? No need to say, Wa alaykum as-salam. You say, Wa alaykum. It means if you ask good for me, let it go back to you. But if you are saying Assalamu alayya, the Prophet ﷺ said, Wa alaykum. What does that mean? Wa alaykum assalam. And his dua will be accepted and theirs will not be accepted. But who is more lenient? That's why they will just smile. Nobody can criticize the Prophet ﷺ for being somebody who misbehaves. They can't touch the man of Muhammad ﷺ. Because they deserve somebody to reply to them like what Aisha said. But da'wah necessitates the opposite. You should come down. You know what you do, you should come down. Because the idea is not to see them go into hell. The idea is to see how they can come back and accept Islam, right? The Prophet ﷺ, until the time he left this life, he was hoping that these people will accept Islam. He said in one of his hadith, if I can have 10 people among the Jews to accept Islam, there will be no Jew on earth who will remain as a Jew. They will accept me, all of them. But unfortunately, only Abdullah ibn Salam, who was according to the religion of Allah. The rest are doubtful. And then he told Aisha, which is the reason why I brought this hadith, he says, Ya Aisha, ma kana al-rifqu fi shay'in illa zanahu, wa la nuzi'a min shay'in illa shanahu. Leniency has never been placed on a thing except it makes it beautiful. And it will never be removed from something except it makes it ugly. I ask you by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to show mercy upon the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and always put yourself in their shoes. If you are to be misguided and somebody comes to invite you and he shows arrogant in such a way you will not accept him, would you be happy with that? Those people, some of them, they did something very bad. But the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam will call down and give them the da'wah. Look at that Bedouin who came to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He peed in the masjid. True or false? True. He peed in the masjid. Is it wrong to pee in the masjid? You'll be surprised why do you ask this question, because it's too obvious, right? But he peed in the masjid. Did the Prophet ﷺ accept that? No, he did not accept. The companions reject and the Prophet ﷺ also rejects. But look at the difference between his rejection and their rejection. Their rejection is to shout. As usual, this is what any one of us will do. They shouted at the man. The Prophet ﷺ said, calm down, la tudhimu, mashallah. He's giving him in the man some position, like he's so important. Don't disturb him, don't cut off his urine. Let him go ahead. Finish the urine. And then he come to the Prophet ﷺ and say, I'm very sorry. I don't see any difference between this place and the place where we do these type of things. Another disrespect to the masjid. He was supposed to get smacked seriously by the Prophet ﷺ, but he did not do that. Smile to him first and then tell him that this place is the place of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the prayers. It is inappropriate for somebody to do that. You know, he was so happy. He was so happy. What did he say? You all know the story. He went out of happiness and said, Allahumma gfirli wa Muhammad, Allahumma hamni wa Muhammad, wa la tarham ma'ana ahada. Says, Ya Allah, I ask you to show mercy upon me and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam alone. And don't you ever show mercy upon anyone. Referring to who? Those companions who shouted. But the Prophet ﷺ is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent him as Rahim to the humankind, right? Rahmah lil alameen, right? He called him, he said, come. He was going to let him go, but when he said that, Prophet ﷺ called him and said, come on, the mercy of Allah is too big. What am I going to do with it? Let people share. Somebody came to the Prophet ﷺ and said, what? Did not even talk yet, but he was tightening the neck of the Prophet ﷺ. And the Prophet ﷺ looked at him and smiled. Wallahi, you know, most of us will never handle this. Whether he's from the village, he's from wherever, he has to learn his lesson. But Muhammad ﷺ was not like that. The hum of the Prophet ﷺ is da'wah. He let him go. Another person, the companion said, he was approaching the Prophet ﷺ. From far distance he was coming. He was asking the Prophet ﷺ from there. What kind of disrespect is this? The companion says, نَسْمَعُ دَوِيَّ صَوْتِهِ وَلَا نَفْقَهُ مَا يَقُولُ. We can hear that the man was whispering, but we know that فَهُوَ يَسْأَلُ عَنِ الْإِسْلَامِ. This is how you ask questions. You ask from far distance, Ya Rasulullah, what is the prayer? Ya Rasulullah, what? At least come, sit down. But the Prophet knows how he deals with them. And that's how a da'i should categorize people. One of them came to the masjid, and he came to them, he says, Ayyukum Muhammad? Who is Muhammad? That's the first disrespect. They told him, Hada Rajul al-Abyad. Then he tied his camel inside the masjid. Some says out of the masjid. That's another disrespect. Brought him inside also. And then he told them, Ayyukum Muhammad? Who is Muhammad? They told him, Hada Rajul al-Abyad. This white man that is lying down next to us, and in the middle of us. I thought this is enough, but it wasn't enough for him. He went, he put his head next to the head of the Prophet ﷺ and told him, Anta ibn Abdul Muttalib? Are you the son of Abdul Muttalib? The Prophet ﷺ got annoyed a bit, but what can he do? These are the people from the village. He said, yes, I told you earlier that I am the one. He says, listen to what he says. He says, I am going to ask you questions. وَمُشَدِّدٌ عَلَيْكَ فِي الْمَسْأَلِ. He came for interview. He said, I'm going to ask you questions and I'm going to be very harsh in my questions. فَلَا تَجِدْ عَلَيْهِ. Don't get angry. Don't get attitude on me. And then he says, I ask you by Allah, who sent you? MashaAllah. And if it is somebody in our time, long ago, the student, they already chased him out. So he kept on asking the Prophet some questions, but look at what he says afterward. He says, actually, I'm the one who represents my people. You know, usually people, when they send somebody to represent them, they send the wisest one. Imagine if somebody, not this one, comes, what would he do? They send him to come and see what exactly the Prophet ﷺ is calling upon, and then he would deliver the message to them. Based on that, they will either accept or reject. Imagine if the Prophet ﷺ was a bit harsh with him. We lost them. This is who they are. That's why, wallahi, I'm telling you, my brothers, look at people and categorize them according to their category. Don't deal with people equally. And I really urge you to show mercy upon the sinners or people who are in the wrong direction. What does mercy mean? It doesn't mean you just keep quiet, let them go astray. No, that is not mercy. That's cheating in amana. But at the same time, when you convey the message, do it in the way you believe, inshallah, he will accept you. Don't just do it anyhow. Choose the best of words, best time to approach him, best statement to be mentioned. You get it. Best time to approach him. You get it. Do anything that you know, inshallah, this man will accept what I'm going to say to him. The Prophet ﷺ said, لأن يهدي الله بك رجلا واحدا خير لك من حمر النعم. May Allah SWT make us among those people who will succeed in that da'wah. The last hadith for today is the hadith of Anas ibn Malik. أن فتى بن أسلم قال يا رسول الله إني أريد الغزو وليس معي ما أتجهز به. قال ائت فلانا فإنه قد كان تجهز فمرض. فأتاه فقال إن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقرئك السلام ويقول أعطني الذي تجهزت به. فقال يا فلان أعطني الذي تجهزت به ولا تحبسي منه شيئا. فقال يا فلان أعطيه الذي تجهزت به ولا تحبسي منه شيئا. فوالله لا تحبسين منه شيئا فيبارك لك فيه. Allah Akbar. Anas ibn Malik radiallahu anhu said, there was a young man from the tribe of Aslam who went to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam and said, Ya Rasulullah, inni uridu al-ghazwa. He said, Ya Rasulullah, I want to participate in the jihad with you. وَلَيْسَ مَعِي مَا أَتَجَهَزُ بِهِ. But Ya Rasulullah, I don't have anything to prepare me and get me ready to have that participation. Ya Rasulullah, I really have the strong interest to be with you, but I don't have enough to take me to that place. So the Prophet ﷺ said, "I'ti fulanan fa innahu kana qad tajahhaza fa marid." He said, go to so and so a person. He mentioned his name. He said, because he prepared to join us, but unfortunately he was trapped by a strong illness. He was ill, so he couldn't join us. فَأَتَاهُ. See, so he has the preparation, but he couldn't make it. Get it? What happened to his reward? Comfort. You get it? At least the intention is there. And if illness is the thing that is preventing him to do a righteousness, Allah is going to give him a full reward of that act, not the reward of intention. Alhamdulillah. Alladhi bi ni'mati timmu salihat. If you are sick, all of those rituals, things that you used to do to please Allah, but now you can't do them because of illness, Allah will give you the same reward you used to get when you're okay. هذا فضل من الله عز وجل. That's why some scholars said it is even disliked for a person to fast when he is ill. You know, sometimes we are ill, we are sick, but then we still don't want to miss the fasting of Monday or Thursday. We still fast. But some scholars said it's not good to fast because it's a kind of a gift Allah SWT is granting you. It's like you are telling Him, I don't need it. Because if you don't fast, Allah will still give you the full reward of your action. Not the reward of intention, but you get the full reward. So that's why it's always good to have a righteousness that you keep it constant. You don't stop. You have a day that you fast, Monday or Thursday, keep it. Don't stop at all. أحب الأعمال إلى الله أدومها ويقتضي. The most beloved righteous deed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they are the continuous ones. Even if they are little. 1 rak'ah or 2 rak'ah you do to please Allah, but you make it continuous, is greater than 10 which you do sometimes, or sometimes you don't. Allah loves those two. You get it? Allah loves continuation and consistency in that which you do. So this person cannot make the participation. So the Prophet ﷺ knew about that. So he told the brother from the Aslam, he said, go to that person because he has all the preparation, but he cannot make it because of an illness. He said, go to him and ask him and tell him that Inna Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam yuqri'uka as-salam wa yaqulu a'tini alladhi tajahhasta bihi. He said, go to him and tell him that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is saying salam to you. And also he is advising you to just pass that preparation of yours to me so that I can participate. At least if you cannot do, one of us can do it. So he went to him and he told him that. These are the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If I cannot make it, if I cannot make it, you also you shouldn't go. I keep my money, you keep my preparation. No, he doesn't do that. What did he say? He says, take it. And he called upon the sister who was with him in the house. He said, Ya Fulana. He called her, he said, A'atihi alladhi tajahhasta bihi. He said, give him all of my preparation. Whatever I had prepared for the jihad, he said, go and give it to him, please. وَلَا تَحْبِسِي مِنْهُ شَيْئًا. He said, please don't keep anything at home. Give him all. He says, for Allah. He said, I swear by Allah. He was talking to the girl. He said, I swear by Allah. لا تحبسين منه شيئا فيبارك لك فيه. He says, Wallahi, whatsoever you keep at home, Allah will never put barakah in it. Let it pass. Get it? And that's how we should think. That which you give for the sake of Allah, if Allah recommends that you should give, that what you keep for yourself. That's why the Prophet ﷺ said, who is that amongst you who loves the wealth that belongs to his heir more than his own wealth? The companion says, no, nobody is like that. He says, no, but people are like that. You get it? Because when we give in charity, we give little. And we're thinking that this is for us. The one that you keep at home, this is what is going to be inherited by who? By your heirs. But the one that you pass in charity, this is what going to remain for you in the hereafter. They mentioned that Aisha told the Prophet ﷺ, Ya Rasulullah, I have given the charity and we lost everything from this sheep except the dhira, the front leg of it. The Prophet ﷺ said, no Aisha, it wasn't like that. Actually you lost everything except this one. Because that which you give and you save with Allah will never be neglected. The Prophet ﷺ said, Inna Allah yurabbi sadaqata ahadikum. Allah SWT takes care of the charity of one of you just like the way you take care of the newborn camel or horse that you have. Until the day of judgment, you're going to see that simple amount of money that you gave somebody in charity being changed and turned into mountains of reward. You also are going to be surprised, where did I get this reward? Wallahi, whenever you are needed to participate in a charity, don't hesitate, just give. So from this hadith, we learn that if you cannot make your righteousness, help somebody to move forward, because you will still get the reward by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This will be the last hadith inshallah under this chapter, and then bi'iznillahi ta'ala, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wish, we're going to be moving to another important chapter, which we will be talking about at-ta'awun al-birri wat-taqwa. Very strong and interesting principle mentioned by the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which draw a red line or a line and the criteria between what is good and what is bad. What kind of participation shall you have in whatsoever you see in this life, and what are you supposed to stay away from? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us good and success, and accept that which we do to please Him. إنه بكل جميل كثير. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. بارك الله فيك.